Hola, cage fighting connoisseurs. This is KidNativeBloodyElbow.com, joined by Zane Simon for the sixth round of Bellator 149, Royce Gracie versus Ken Shamrock 3, Kimbo Slice versus Dada 5000. Oh my God, my endorphins are tingling in my brain because there was no sporting side to this. This was pure garbage, pure entertainment, pure candy. I feel like I just ate a giant bowl of Captain Crunch topped with Jack Daniels. I loved it. Zane, your thoughts?
Yeah, it started out so bad, but from that Derek Campos Melvin Guillard fight forward, that was where it got good. And I was thinking, watching those first two fights, and just being like, oh god, the Guillard fight came up. I was like, if Guillard doesn't do something, this like we are dependent solely on Dada 5000 and Ken Shamrock for our entertainment purposes.
And those
And
guys came through, even though both fights were basically terrible.
oh yeah, God, the whole thing was just a shit awful mess. But it was. I mean, we need some aspect of that in MMA. Like it is such. I
It's a
it's
ridiculous sport. I mean, the
it's a
idea of two
ridiculous
grown
sport.
men getting in a cage, brawling as a sporting proposition, it's inherently silly, and it's always been a circus.
Yeah.
And that's just part of the fun. And I don't know, the fact that these guys are all Hoyce and Ken are 20 years past their peak. Kimbo's a full 10 years past his peak, such as it was. Dada never had a peak. It really makes you despair for the talent pool and the future of MMA. I mean, in 10 years, who are they going to be dredging up? The pickings will be pretty slim.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, in 10 years, maybe they'll be bringing in like GSP and Matt Hughes for a fight, or
Could be, could
or
be,
Matt Serra and Matt Hughes. There you go. That's a fight that would still have some heat.
or BJ Penn and anybody.
BJ
Pending.
Penn and any number of people who are being terrorized in Hawaii right now.
allegedly,
Allegedly, I don't know anything
allegedly.
about
But let's talk about the fights. So Royce Gracie knocks out Ken Shamrock first round. I don't have the time. 2 minutes 22 seconds. Clear nut shot, knee to the nuts, followed
it.
by a knee to the face that dropped him. The referee should have stopped the fight. Shamrock should have piped up, honestly, but nonetheless, he's trying to protect himself at all times. You could see he was grimacing in pain before the knee to the face.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty flagrant and
It
awful.
was super
And if you
flagrant.
know the career of Ken Shamrock, even back in his heyday, there was always some nonsense. In UFC
Oh
one,
yeah.
the ref didn't see him tap out. And there was a brief moment where Ken struggled with the temptation to deny that he tapped out, but
Yep.
ultimately admitted it. Then UFC 3, there was a whole fiasco of getting hurt and bowing out before the finals after a really mediocre second round performance. UFC 5, he laid and prayed on Royce. On and on and on. I mean,
There's like the Dan Severn circling,
oh yes, the refusal to punch.
the
Yes,
refusal to punch.
yes,
I mean, it goes as deep as the abyss. You know.
yes, and his original fight with Kimbo, where he had to pull out because he got stitches instead of gluing a cut shut because he got a cut because he tried to jack CBS for extra money at the last minute. Then he was furious when they wouldn't give it to him, so he trained too hard with one of his buddies and cut himself badly. Their fight was canceled. Kimbo then fought Seth Petrozelli on short notice, got knocked out. It brought the whole promotion crashing down.
I,
Disaster. So, Ken
I
Shamrock.
feel a little bad for Ken here. I gotta say, just a little,
Oh, I
because
feel bad for him. I mean, he
yeah.
totally got a bad break. He got screwed.
But I feel
Um,
beyond that. I feel bad for him on a very ironic note, because when I talked to him, he really highlighted. Like I asked him, he was like, "What do you really wish hadn't changed about the sport?" And he's like, "It's not a sport for tough guys anymore." Like that was what he hated. And like in the NHB days, that shit goes down. You got to be fighting, dude. Like
yep, yep.
if you want this sport to still be about tough dudes, then you're not complaining and rolling on the ground when you get kneed in the crotch.
It's true. I mean, back in the day, I remember Royce Gracie needing chemo in the nuts about 8 times in a row,
Oh
and
yeah,
at the time it was seen as brilliant strategy. And it,
yeah.
and it was and effective, but a little bit too old school. Maybe I don't think it would have happened if Big John McCarthy had been in the cage.
No, McCarthy's usually pretty sharp on that kind of shit.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but I don't think it took away because what we were seeing was some pretty feeble stand up. It seemed like it was all Hoist. I mean, he was the one throwing. Nobody was hitting anything. His kicking game has barely changed since UFC one. It's the same mix of straight up chin,
Now
crane kicks. Just
The Gracie stomp has become the Gracie shuffle.
yes, yes. But Ken had nothing. He had taped up knees and occasionally got in close and tried to fire off combinations, but mostly it looked like here's a guy who's a takedown artist with no takedown left and not really, anyway. But let's talk about Kimbo Slice and Dada 5000. The highlight was the pre-fight press conference when they were talking about who had baby nuts. The fight itself, 3 rounds, minute 32. Kimbo knocks out Dada 5000. They were both exhausted. It reminded me a lot of the Houston Alexander fight. It wasn't quite to the point of both guys standing there with their hands on their knees, but it was close.
I think it was. I think it was. Even it was better through being worse in the Houston Alexander fight because I get the feeling these guys honestly hated each other too much to stand with their hands on their knees. Because in the Houston Alexander fight, I think that was just kind of like they're both like, okay, neither of us is really that interested. We're both exhausted. Whatever. We're just here for the paycheck. And this, like, they both had a point to prove, and they had zero ability to prove it.
That they did. The punches they were throwing. The thing that was killing me throughout this fight was they were both staggering around so much. They were putting off all the signals of a fighter about to get knocked out. And I kept reacting to that. I was like, oh, Kimbo's staggered. Oh, Dada's staggered, But neither of them had the ability to follow up. Like if they'd been in the cage with, say, Cain Velasquez, I mean, he would
just... that's just not even polite. That's not good to think about.
Yeah, it's just you're used to as a fan of professional MMA of a certain caliber of dangerousness, wherein if somebody's that hurt, they're going to get finished.
I don't even know that they were that hurt. Like I'm just
they were that exhausted.
Their footwork, like,
they've been training a lot of drunken monkey kung fu.
That's right. Emphasis on the drunk, not so much.
Yeah.
It was like they just got so tired that they couldn't move, they couldn't fight, they couldn't do anything. And when Dada 5000, like when he finally went out and he was just trying his hardest to lean into Ferguson, and he did that run where he kind of is like looking out over the cage as he's running into the canvas, and it was just like, I mean, I honest to God hope that he's okay because I know he got stretchered out of there and he's probably on his way to the hospital.
Oh, I did not know he had gotten stretchered out. That is bad. And we definitely wish him the best.
The lights off because everyone was taping it, and they stretchered him out, and I don't know what's going on if they're gonna. I mean, obviously he'll have to be IV'd, but I assume he's gonna go to the hospital too. And I mean, shit, like you can't do this sport if you're not training for it. Like,
yeah,
MMA is like even 15 minutes is fucking exhausting.
5 minutes is plenty exhausting if you're not trained for it, and 15 is unbearable. So it was entertaining. I don't know where they go from here with any of these guys. Hoist and Ken obviously set up a rematch. I mean, it's pathetic as that is, but it gives Ken fans something to bitch about, and it gives Hoist fans a reason to hate Ken fans, which I couldn't help it. Back in the day, I passionately loved Hoist Gracie and just loathed Ken Shamrock. And so I still was pretty gleeful when I saw Ken fall in and Hoist jumping on him. But really poor Ken. But
the only thing I feel a little sad about is the fact that while we got this amazing shit show at the top, we didn't there was nobody else on this card where I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see that guy again. Like,
no,
it built nothing, no interest in anyone. There's no title fight. There's no hot, fresh challenger. It was
they got to promote Phil Davis against King Mo, which has a certain amount of interest.
Yeah, they got to bring some guys on for the event during the event and talk about them, but there was no fighter on there where I think they were probably just hoping it would be Melvin Gillard, and him getting knocked out puts no shine on Derek Campos.
Not really, no, sadly. And so let's run through the three other fights on the Spike TV card. We had lightweight Derek Campos knock out Melvin Guillard, TKO, second round, 32 seconds. Basically, Melvin's just shot. The young assassin isn't young anymore, and Campos wore him down and caught him with a combination in the second. Then you had light heavyweight Linton Vassell beating Emmanuel Newton by a unanimous decision. There was also a point deduction for multiple nut shots on Newton's part. Rematch that was totally unnecessary, and it was a terrible, terrible fight.
Yeah, I mean, like, Newton is a fun, weird dude to have around, but you need him to be like, he needs to have a certain kind of opponent that's really going to put him in an interesting, like, going to make a fight fun around him. You can't just give him a dude that's looking to grind on him, because he's too much of a grinder himself, and when
immovable object meets immovable object, nothing happens. That's so it was ugly, stylistically ugly, fouls ugly. Then you had a catchweight fight that was supposed to be a featherweight fight. Emmanuel Sanchez decision, Daniel Pineda by split decision. Wasn't a fun fight. Somebody missed weight. I mean, it was impossible to take seriously. And it's very frustrating because you get a card like this wherein Scott Coker's doing his job. I mean, he's getting eyeballs on Bellator in a way that Bjorn Rebney would never in a million years have been able to do. I mean, he's playing his hand incredibly well. The problem is he took over a hand, a pot that had been almost drained, and a hand with no cards in it. And he's slowly building up cards. And the problem is you'd want to see something like Michael Venom Page on a card like this. Like, that's the one guy on the Bellator roster where I go, this guy has the talent and the charisma. Get him in front of fans, And again, injury problems are hampering that. I don't even know if they had him planned for this show, but nonetheless, he's injured and could be on it anyway. So it's very frustrating. The Ben Henderson signing is a good one, gets a lot of prospects. And so they announced the next big tentpole, going to have Josh Thompson against. You got to work with me here.
Shit. Oh, God. I don't know. Fuck.
You were so fired, and now you're cursing. This is
why do you expect me to know who Josh Thompson is fighting in the next
you
Bellator?
should have watched the show. We're supposed to be professionals here, watching the show and telling people what's happening. So
I tune out of every bit of shoulder programming for every MMA event. Like, I'm just, if it's not the fight, I'm a million miles away.
So anyway, they've got anyway, there's Josh Thompson against somebody.
Oh, Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler, yes, and that'll be an interesting fight.
Yes,
and so they've got Ben Henderson coming in. They've got King Mo. I already talked about this. Who's Phil Davis? King Mo and Phil Davis, an interesting fight. I think Phil Davis has a huge advantage there because I think King Mo is shot. God bless him. But King Mo will make it fun just with his anti-charisma and the whole obnoxious act that he does. So, all in all, a good card. I mean, Bellator's still moving forward. This wasn't a knock it out of the park. I still feel like the Tito Bonner card was probably the best one, or the one where they announced the Tito Bonner card, because that card I remember had several quality fights underneath. Although a number of things like the lightweight title sort of played itself out, like the division kind of cannibalized itself, and so nobody emerged in large. So we'll see. But all in all, fun fight. Love Royce Gracie. Love Ken Shamrock. I've come to love Kimbo Slice. Still, I don't know what I think about Dada 5000, but he gave us an evening of entertainment, and I hope he's okay. And it's sad to see Melvin Guillard at this point, but that's just what happens to fighters who've been fighting this long.
Yep. Fighters who've been fighting long, especially guys like him who have always depended so much on their athletic ability. When that starts to go, then it's like, well, now you're a guy who doesn't have athletic ability and never built the skill base to go with it.
Yep. Yeah. And it's been a long 14-year career for Melvin. I mean, so, we don't know where we go from here. But anyway, pretty good card. I mean, I would definitely there's those two fights are worth watching if you didn't see them. And I think the Ken Hoyce fight, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, I might watch that a couple more times this weekend. It's awful.
I would never in a million years recommend anybody go watch this and hunt it down. But like, if you were there and live, it was worth. It was fun. It was a complete hilarious shit show.
Yes, if you're the sort of horrible person who maybe goes on World Star Hip Hop and Googles old man fights and wants to watch like ex-retired football, my favorite old man fight. I just want to tell about one old man fight. Two old guys who are both former pro football players at a banquet, and they were in their 70s just wailing on each other. It wasn't quite this good, but that's what Gracie and Shamrock was. If you like to watch old man fights on World Star Hip Hop, this was your jam. And Kimbo and Dada, frankly, was in that category too. Pure shit show, pure garbage. The only thing that was missing was like Giant Silva. Like we didn't have,
yes.
Giant
Silva versus like a bantamweight. That's
yes. That would have been the cherry on top. But anyway, it was a fun night in the world of MMA. Sunday night we'll be back for you. We won't be back, but Eugene will be back with Knuckle Up right after the UFC Cowboy versus Cowboy on Sunday night. That'll be on Fox Sports 1. And we'll roll into whatever the next UFC is at that point. So remember, give us a 2 thumbs up give us 1 thumb up on YouTube. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at @TheZaneSimon, @KidNate. Read us on BloodyElbow.com. Subscribe to MMA Nation on iTunes. Subscribe to MMA Nation on SoundCloud. And I believe that's all our plugs. So adios, MMA aficionados. Thanks, Zane.